Welcome. How you doing? It's Adasi. Welcome to the Adasi Bo Show with my main man. Peace. What up?
Not much. How you doing today, Ty?
Pretty good.
Right?
Today, normally I come on, I do my whole soliloquy, I give my points of view, I give my rants. Today, I'm gonna let my brother Peace give something off his mind. Okay?
Sounds good. And like we say,
Yeah.
we never know. We never know what the other guy's gonna do. So it might be news to Tai Chi of what's bugging me today. I'm not saying I'm smart, but I do have common sense. I don't go out in the lightning, walk with a metal umbrella. I don't drive drinking hot coffee with no lid. Just common sense stuff that I'm sure everybody at home would say that's common sense. But there's some things that really irk me that people have done for years and it's just accepted. When you watch this, you're going to say, "Yeah, you got a good point there." I'm going to start with we're going to use this. You could pick any sector you want. Let's pick little kids. Why does a 4 or 5 year old kid going to school have 35 pounds of book in their book bags? I never understand that. Like everybody agrees it's not good, but what happens? It's the same thing the next semester. Kids have, and as they get older, the books get thicker and thicker and thicker. When I was in college, some of these nurses, they're taking these medical classes, had probably 150 pounds of books that they were lugging around. And I see these little kids with these books, and then you wonder why there's a spine problems with kids and stuff. That's one with dealing with kids. Another one dealing with kids is the car line. You know the car line. You're driving down the street. There's 3 lanes. You want to make a left-hand turn around 2 o'clock, 1:30. And all of a sudden you see about 450 cars in front of you not moving. And you're like, oh man, I know what this is. I got in the wrong line. It's too late for you. You're finished. But why would cities and states that say they want to teach kids about conserving energy and all these nice things to save the planet, why would they be having every day 400 cars that are on idle with the gas going for 45 minutes, an hour every day? It makes no sense. Is there any written law that says every kid has to leave at 2:30 at every school? There should be more common sense. I've always advocated that there be a dedicated line when you pick up the kids. You got 3 lines. You're picking up 3 families' kids, you go on that line. That line's going to be super fast because there's not 3 families, but it will teach carpooling. The second line could be the dummies that got to wait, for hours. And then the third line is the pay to play. You want to go to the front of the line? You pay 20, 25 bucks. Every school they would generate more money doing that than they would for the carnival. I mean, it makes no sense why they don't do that. And I never understood why there's no common sense. And the other thing would be, why do they have school in the hot states? Why school's off in the summer when it's 120 degrees, I think, in Phoenix this summer. I mean, does anybody really want to go to an amusement park? Any parents take their kids when it's 120 degrees? Why not have school in the summer when nobody wants to go outside? Bring them to school. And then in the winter, when it's beautiful weather, 60 degrees, walking weather, vacation weather. I mean, it's like common sense. It's not rocket science. I don't know one parent that says it's a dumb idea. What's your opinion? That's my rant, by the way. It's called a common sense rant. I mean, I could probably talk for another 3 hours, but I'll leave it at that. And just tell me, what am I missing here? Well, especially with the school in the summer. You tell me what I'm missing.
Can I add or respond in any way in
You
kind?
can do whatever you want. It's not called the PJ show. It's the Adasi Bo
Okay.
show. So you can do whatever you want to do.
The thing with the kids. But your first, it's either you really love the kids, or this is a personal issue at some point. I do believe these kids with like book bags, like fifth graders, sixth graders carrying book bags that look like anvils. I just think it's insane. It's so unnecessary, especially when we live in a generation now when everything is so electronics and those kind of dynamics. I think it's a bit mundane. So I agree with you there. The second part, I believe you said was
The car waiting for an hour.
I've heard you speak about this personally, so I know how it bores you up for years.
It makes no sense.
But I don't see it happening because there's not enough lane for people to go in. You get what I'm saying? To get into the school.
Okay.
So it's going to be one, regardless, even if you have the 3 car lane, the dummies, and the
Listen,
regulars, they
this is
still all
for
got to get in the same way.
this is for our
So,
elected officials to figure out, because every day, if there's 400 cars idling for an hour, just the amount of gas that's wasted. If you're concerned about the planet, if you're not concerned about the planet, then it becomes a financial thing. How much gas is wasted every day with cars? Just how much work? People missing work. How much labor costs? 400 cars.
peas for the environment, huh? That's what I'm talking about. Peas against greenhouse emissions. That's what I'm talking about. But that's interesting in itself, and I don't disagree with you that it could be done better because sometimes those lines are you got to get in like 2 hours early. You got
Oh
to
yeah,
get
it's
in like
ridiculous.
I've been in those lines, so I definitely know exactly what you're talking
And the other
about.
one was the summer, like having classes in the summer when it's 1,000 degrees out, instead of having it in the winter when it's beautiful out weather to be outside, going on
Yeah,
vacations and playing
I
with the
don't
kids.
I don't know. Um, I don't know why anybody would want to give up their summer.
Well, your summer would be the winter now. It'd be the winter. What would you rather be out? Well, let me ask you a question. You live in Florida, theme park, Disney World. Do you prefer to go to Disney World in August, in September, when it's like 99 degrees, the humidity is 105, which is no such thing, and it's going to maybe rain out, mosquitoes, or would you rather go in March when it's 65 degrees,
It's the
beautiful
number
out,
one
cool?
attraction in the state of Florida. It's not hurting it.
I'm asking
Whatever
you. I don't care
people
about Disney. I don't care about Disney. I'm asking you. What would you? Maybe you're one of those people that wants to go out
you
when it's
say, for
120
you to say
degrees.
you don't care about Disney after
Yeah,
bringing them up, it's
yeah.
counter it's counterproductive.
I'm using them as an example for you.
To
You
me,
and your
if you're
gang.
asking me, if you're
Yes.
at like what you just said, I believe I don't really care
Okay.
because we're in Florida. What's summer anyway? What's winter?
I know they can't
It's
do it for colleges because colleges like they play football and they play north teams from up north. I understand that, but elementary school at least they can have the be off in the winter when it's beautiful out and go to school when it's raining out. And this is one thing I want people at home. I want to do a poll on this and see. Maybe it's just my imagination, but walk
just
outside. I
your
mean, it's so hot outside.
imagination.
Well, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: what is what is the weirdest thing that you believed as a kid?
I was speaking to
Something,
kids. All right.
yeah.
Well, I knew this question was coming, and I was a weird kid because I hate to say it, I saw through all the bullshit when I was a little kid, and it was a problem for me my whole life because right away I saw the facade of Christmas that I didn't really believe in Santa Claus at a young age, and I just was always wondering why. How come the poor people don't get any Christmas presents? And then it became like why it's like a I was very cynical as a kid about all this stuff. Like, why are they worried about getting 10 presents when there's some poor person who doesn't get anything?
You're
As a
not
little kid,
cynical
that's how I
now.
thought. I was a weird kid in that I
You're not
felt.
cynical now.
Oh, I'm cynical, but I'm saying as a kid, I wasn't thinking like other kids. Like, and I really have a disdain for holidays since since I was a little kid because it just becomes so commercialized that there's no spirit. And I don't want to sound negative, and it is, but that's how that's how I felt. I've always felt that way with holidays. And the Tooth Fairy. I don't know if I even believe in the Tooth Fairy, but
But you
the
don't
Tooth
want to
Fairy
sound
didn't bother me.
negative. But you don't want to sound negative.
I don't want to sound negative. I was cynical as a kid, and I saw things from a different perspective than most kids see at a young age. People used to tell me, you're an old soul. I was told I was an old soul when I was 10 years old, and I've always been told that my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's pretty weird. If you want to
It all
talk
depends
about
on
weird.
it all depends on who's coming from, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that. I'll tell you something that I've believed as a kid that I bring into an adulthood. I always thought Peter Pan was a weirdo, right? And and I say this saying that I always thought Captain Hook was the good guy because Peter Pan is with a whole lot of lost kids, right? Boys, little boys, away from home, almost seem like they're kidnapped and lured away with candy and promise of a fairy tale. This dude is walking around in freaking tights and you know, with little kids. And Hook is trying to free the kids, but somehow Hook is the bad guy. So all my life, I always thought Peter Pan was a freaking weirdo, like a pedophile.
I
You
felt
know,
the same way with Johnny Quest. Remember, I don't know if you watched Johnny Quest. Here's a
how
kid
did you
who's
think Johnny
wait,
West
no wait, his
Quest was?
father's a scientist, right? Go anybody at home,
Oh,
Google Johnny Quest on YouTube, and you can watch and
you
see what
were a
I'm
sick
talking
one.
about. The guy's
You were
father's
a
a
sick one.
scientist. He's hanging out with this guy all the time on everywhere they go. Like his father's there with him, but his Johnny Quest is a kid, and the kid hangs out with this guy. Is it race? I don't know who the. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
an
There's a
Indian kid, like a Middle
no,
Eastern
no,
kid.
no. The two kids are okay, but there's also another adult. There's Johnny Quest's father, who's a scientist, and then there's
Okay,
another adult in the crew. And the kid
okay.
is always hanging out with the other adult, and the other kid's fine. Two kids hanging out, and the dog Bandit or whatever the dog's name is. But I never understood, like, why would the father let this strange guy, like he's spending too much time with this kid, and I thought that was a little bit creepy
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
get
But
that.
Peter
I
Pan,
get
it
that.
might be more. Now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking about it,
Peter
and
Pan is a
Tinkerbell.
yeah, exactly. You know, like it's
Yeah.
just Peter Pan is a weirdo for me. You know, it's just something that I couldn't get past, and still to this day, just I can't unsee it. Okay. Um, excuse my English. A hill that you're willing to die on. Since kids and now.
Well, everybody's
Oh,
gonna die for kids. I mean that when I say
no, no,
everybody.
no. That's not what I said.
Okay,
Since you were a kid and now,
okay.
a hill that you are willing to die on.
Well, I my whole life I've hated bullies,
Mm.
and if it means me getting in front of a bullet or whatever for some bully, then I'll be willing to do that. I can't. I loathe them. I
I
can't
can't see
stand
you.
them.
I can't see you jumping in front of like I
Well,
can't
you
even
don't
see
know.
you
Maybe
jumping
if
in
you're
front of a
getting bullied,
water gun.
if you're getting bullied, maybe I'm your guy. It's always some weak person bullying somebody who's has a problem. And I've always told the relatives that I know, kids that I know at school, I says always protect the kids that can't defend themselves. Always look out for them. Be nice to them. They're special. They're special kids, and a lot of people are not going to be nice to them. So when I see people treating other people bad like that, it boils me. And I guess that's the hill that I would die. How about yourself?
Voting matters. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you who not to vote for. But to me, a hill that I've always believed as a child, because growing up, I have never heard of a Caucasian person ever say my vote don't matter. Never heard it. I've only ever heard black men at a certain age. A black man overwhelmingly vote, but there's a certain segment of us that been jaded due to society, just due to economic pressure, due to political pressure, due to drugs and epidemic, incarceration, just choices, and also systemic racism or whatever from the past. That it becomes your vote don't matter to a certain segment, and I always reject that notion. I push back against that notion, and it's the biggest farce of a conversation ever. So I would never tell you who to support or who not to support. But voting
Just
matters
vote.
because it's the only thing that's ever changed the world, right? So that's one thing.
That's a good one thing.
And I like the bullying factor in which you spoke about. I never liked bullies. I was attempted to be bullied a couple of times. I reacted in an unbullyable way, if that's even a word.
Yeah, that's the way. That's what you need to do.
You just got to be willing to leave it out on the field.
Yeah.
And when you don't have siblings at a certain age, it's just a difficult battle sometimes, and
Hmm.
you don't know when to speak up or fight back because
Hmm.
the definition of a bully is somebody that put fear in you, somebody that's trying to intimidate you, and they're doing that to you because they feel like they have an advantage over you.
Yeah.
So you have to get some kind of confidence in yourself for you to deal with it.
Taekwondo, and I used to tell her all the time, listen, if the kids could say whatever they want to say to you, talk is cheap. Just go like this to them. I used to tell her, just do this. To this day, if you see her and it's somebody I tell her to do, just do this to somebody. But it said, but if somebody touches you, you have a right to knock them out. But
Definitely.
once they're on the ground and they're not moving around, that's it. But I think martial arts, things like that, are good classes for kids. It gives them
Definitely.
confidence. They do better in
Definitely.
grades, things like that.
Definitely.
But bullying is just it's a bad and a sad thing. And hopefully, people out there, talk to your kids. Let your kids know that bullying. Your kid might be a bullier and you don't even know it.
And you're telling them not to be a bully. And you tell them not to get
Yeah.
bullied. But they are
They
they
might
are
be
the
the bullier. You don't
monsters.
know. You really don't know because some kids, you obviously you have a big kid. You're thinking, okay, they can defend themselves, but sometimes the bullies are the little kids, bullying the
Yeah.
big kids when they're young.
Sometimes the bully is a girl.
Yep.
And the girl knows the little boy don't want to hit her, so she just bullies him. It happens in all size, shapes, and
Yeah.
whatever. I want to ask you one thing, and I want to place this on me and you.
Okay.
If I was to switch life with you for a day or two, if we switch lives for a day or two, what would surprise me about you? What would you what would I learn about you that I don't know?
What a great lover
Besides
I am.
how how a great lover you are.
What you would probably be surprised with me is how many people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, how many useless people I know. Just what's up? What's up? Nothing's up. Nothing's up. That how many people every day I have daily contacts with, and I think it's everybody likes like I don't want to say loneliness, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
people out there that just need a quick phone call or a quick text, and I have a lot of
Mhm.
people. My monthly texts are probably like 4 or 5 thousand texts a month. I have an insane amount. My phone's on silent because if I hear the beeping all day long, so I think you would say, "Wow, I can't believe how many people this guy knows." Just through the years, and I've always had an open air. And I've also, if somebody asks me something, I take it like as an honor, and I have no problem helping my friends. I take it like, hey, they're asking me enough, then I'm going to come through and I'm going to try to give them the answer that they're looking for or help them out. And sometimes I would get insulted if they don't ask for my help to say, hey, you want me to find you a good doctor for your whatever your foot. I'll find you. We'll research it together, and I don't mind doing that. But I think that's one thing. How about you? What would I be surprised about you?
I will say that you are very resourceful. I guess how many people you would know probably surprises me. But I do know you know a lot of people. But what would surprise you about me if you switched with me for a day? First of all, how hard it is to walk, carrying around all this stuff that I carry around. That's how blessed I am by God. It's just just carrying around my love stick. How heavy it is. I have to, you know, it's almost like a cane. But besides besides that, it would be how much I love the people that I care. I don't know how to love halfway. If I tell you that I love you and I'm going to be there for you, you can literally count that I love you and I'm going to be there for you. So you would learn that about me. You would see how much of a gravitational force I am in my life, in others' lives. And that's
Positive
that.
energy.
Yes, because you meet so many people along your journey, and when you meet people along your journey, people are in your lives for a reason. And whether it's for a lesson, maybe it's for a teaching, but you sometimes meet people and they're just good people, so you just don't let them. You got to hold on to good people when you meet them. And everybody's not always going to be in that same season. They might be doing better now than they were doing before. They might be doing better before than they're doing now. But you love somebody, you gotta, you gotta love them. That doesn't mean you're around them. That doesn't mean you're with them on a daily basis anymore. You can still love people from afar.
Yeah.
But it's just what I love hard. I don't know how to love halfway.
A guy like yourself
What?
probably gets hurt a little bit too because, like, when you give 150%, it's,
You
it's,
don't
it's
always get it back.
even if you get 98% back, it always feels like it's a little bit lopsided.
You never fully get it back. And one of the biggest misconception that that we put ourselves through is expecting reciprocity from others. The way you are expecting others to be exactly how you are, and that's not realistic on others' part because they're individualists. Everybody's an individual. So expecting somebody to behave the way you would behave,
Yeah.
it's
That's
just a
that's
bit mundane. It's a lesson learned that
it's a
life
battle. It's
doesn't
a
work that way.
battle. It's
It's a
always a
battle.
battle going on where you're wondering why they're not doing this, that you would do this.
And
But
I'm gonna
it's
end this off. We're gonna end this off on a fun one, right? Because I don't want to drag this out too long. Let's say we start a band,
all right,
and at this point, we all know I'm the lead singer.
all right.
Might be a drummer, but I'm a lead singer. What would be the name of our band?
Ham and Company. It's your
Ham and
band,
Company.
right? Ham and Company.
I don't even eat pork,
Because you're a big ham. Ham and Company.
so I'm ham. What
You're the
the
ham, yeah. Ham and Company.
Oh my god!
And
You
people say,
calling
why
me
is this
a
guy
pig?
a ham? They're going to say, well, I'll show you why. He's a ham.
You're
Ham
calling
and
me a
Company.
pig?
No, I'm calling you a ham. Go
A
fight.
ham
Ask,
is a pig.
ask Gronk.
Hey, squad.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say our name would be. I'm trying to think about things, but I don't want to be like Ty and the Supremes, like right? It's like I'm the lead singer, like it's just that obvious. It'll probably be like something that'll get us laid. You
Our
know,
band, our band in college was called Joint Venture.
it's a nice that's a nice spin to it.
Yeah.
I would say I can't try to think of it'd be something ungodly, I'm sure. Ungodly. The ungodly twins, right?
Yeah.
It'll be that. And only Lord knows, no cameras at the shows. It's just, it'll be something like that. But it's been a very eventful night. But I want to ask the fans or our listeners chime into this conversation. Let us know about the rant about the carpool lane and the carpool lane, 4-year-olds with the heavy book bags, and trying to remember
The school in the summer and
school
vacation
in the
in the
summer,
winter. I'm
not
going to try to put a
vacation
poll up there
anymore.
on I don't know if I could do it on Spotify, but on YouTube for the viewers at home to see what you think about my suggestion. This is a good one-term thing to run for office. By the way, if you're thinking about running for governor of your state or mayor, I think you get a lot of votes on it.
Okay, okay, brother, my brother. Yes, I'm sure it could happen. And then also let us know about Peter Pan, Johnny Quest.
Race Bannon, I think that maybe that was the father of the scientist.
Yeah, it's just
Haji
it's
was the kid.
interesting. Yeah,
Haji was the
yeah,
Indian
yes,
kid.
he was.
Haji.
That's why I say he was a Middle Eastern kid.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He spent too much time
So,
with his father's friend. And it did look like
right.
Epstein a little bit too, though.
I
That
am not
big
going
guy.
to insinuate where you're trying to go with this, right? So I'm not doing that. But please chime in. Let us know what you think about the pod. Reach out to us. Comment, send your emails, subscribe, follow us. We appreciate it. Good seeing you, Pete,
Take
my
care.
brother. All right, take care, bro.